thanks for joining me on a ride out on my 20-year-old Honda VFR vtec. I've done a video of when I got this a few weeks ago. I'll put a link to it up there. But just to recap, it was a dealer took it in as a part exchange, and basically it wasn't suitable for them for their stock, so they put it on eBay, and I bought it off them on eBay. It hadn't been MOT'd for 3 years, and obviously hadn't been ridden in that time, so I'm pleasantly surprised when I picked it up. It was great condition. I didn't need to do anything at all for it to put it through its MOT. It went straight through, no advisories. So all I've done is just change the oil and filter, because obviously the oil and filter would have been at least 3 years old. Gave it a good check over, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, and I'm out now enjoying it. So that was a couple of weeks ago. I've been using it since then, going in and out of work, which has been great for. And on Sunday just gone, I went out for a nice big long ride in it. Well, about 90 to 100 miles, some of that would have made on Sunday. And I can't fault this bike at all. It is fabulous. I first saw it when these first came out in the early 2000s, I think it probably would have been. I remember saying I just loved the way they look, and I thought, oh, I really fancy getting one of those. But at the time I couldn't afford a new bike. There's no way I could get one then. But I just love the angular looks, the way the indicators are integrated into the fairing. It just looks so sleek and muscular and sporty. Yeah, I think it looks great. And in this silver colour as well, I think it really sets it off nicely. It really does look the business, I think. So comfort-wise, for me, no problem with it at all. It's yeah, it's forward a little bit, but it's not, my wrists aren't hurting at all after a long ride in it. I've no problems with those. My back is fine. Legs are a bit more bent than what I would like, but hey, you can't have everything, can you? It's not uncomfortable, it's not bad. Put it this way, I'm going on a trip to the Pyrenees in September. Now I'm going on my Triumph Tiger Explorer 1200, which is the perfect job for that sort of a trip. But if I had to go on this bike, on the VFR, I wouldn't be distraught about it. No, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I could just get a big roll bag, bungee it onto the back, and yeah, it'd be grand. I think it'd be okay. So that's not a bad endorsement for you, that you know that I genuinely wouldn't really mind too much going on a long trip with that on it. I had one of these as well back in last December. I only had it for a month or two. Again, it was one of those that I bought basically just to flip, really. I bought it, had it for a month or so, sold it on. In fact, I didn't sell it on. I swapped it or gave it in a part exchange deal with a Benelli TRK 502. Videos up there. But yeah, I really liked it. So when I saw this came up, I thought, oh, I'll have another one of them. I've got it up for sale again now, so I might not have it for very long either. But this engine in this is just sublime. It's lovely. It's If you don't know, I'm sure you do know, it's a V4 engine, a lovely smooth engine, and then it's got it's 4 valves per cylinder. So under 7,000 revs there's only 2 valves in operation, and then once you get to 7,000 revs all 4 valves kick in then. Now it's a little bit of, well, I wouldn't say abrupt, but you do notice it. Not just in the difference in power, there's a difference in the engine tone. It's a little bit like dropping down a gear, so you can get suddenly look a bit more urgency from it. It is a nice feeling, and it's great on roads like this. This bike is from a period when I think Honda were at their height as far as reliability and quality goes. Everything about this is just so, it just feels, well, it just feels quality. It just, the paintwork is fabulous. You know, it's got this beautiful deep glossy silver paint. Everything is very solid and well put together, and you just need to look at this bike. Like, so this is a 20-year-old bike, and it's just beautiful condition. Everything is held up really well for 20 years and 34,000 miles. Yeah, it's a credit to its former owners. They've obviously looked after it well, but lots of 20-year-old bikes that wouldn't hold up like this has. I think this is still an original exhaust as well, which I quite like. Yeah, it doesn't sound as meaty and fruity as maybe some aftermarket exhaust, but I think it does look great. Of course, the downside to the exhaust, yeah, the exhaust in this looks great, being the under seat exhaust looks great. For a pillion passenger on a hot day though, I'd imagine you'll be getting a very warm arse. And of course you haven't got much luggage space underneath the seat. In fact, you've got no luggage space, you've no space to put anything under the seat, barely. Right, I'm going to turn round here and head back on this road, because this road is just amazing. This is the road between from Burford going to Charlbury. Now I could go to Burford and go turn right, and then for those of you who know this area, turn right and go back towards Chipping Norton on the main road, the A whatever it is, but it'll be a lot more fun just doing a U-turn down here and going back on this B road again. If I could find somewhere to turn. Don't think I can. Let's do a quick UE here. Ooh. Oh, and there's a place I could have turned down there. Alright, let's head back to Charlbury. Wow. hits 7,000 revs, it just roars. The change in engine note is just beautiful. It goes from purring along just to go rah, and changes into a different bike. Busy time of the year for farmers. Bikes like this anymore. This is it's just a very practical, handy, everyday bike. So like a standard, it's got a center stand, it's got a comfortable seat. These days, if you want a comfortable seat, you have to pay an extra 300 or 400 quid for one, which is fucking ridiculous. Excuse my French. Really annoys me not to do things like that. And like I've said, it's just, you can just feel the quality on this bike. Everything is built to last on it. This model has been superseded, I think 2015 or 2016, by a completely newer facelifted model, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I think they look beautiful, the new VFR 800s. Well, they're not new anymore, but the ones that came out after this. But they're a little bit smaller than this, which is unfortunate. I had a sit in one and it just felt so much smaller than this. I don't know if I'm imagining it or not. Which I did, and of course then there's the VFR 1200 out now as well. So these VFRs anyway, they came out first, I think they came out first in the early 80s, early to mid 80s of course. It was the VFR 750. And there's a few of those, and I think by all accounts the early ones weren't the best. I think they had a few problems with the technology they were using. Geez, this is a dangerous place to be stopping. I think they had a few early problems with them. And then there was a few, and then the VFR 750 got updated a couple of times, and then the VFR 800 FI, I think it was called, or I. Basically the new fuel injected one anyway came out then as well. And that was the one that came out then before this one, which is the VTEC. Alright, let's go down here. We take a little trip down by Clarkson's farm and Didley Squat. And see how many crazy lunatics are queuing up to go into a shop to buy a £10 Scotch egg today. Lovely loose chippings, biker's favourite. It's like riding on millions of little ball bearings. So, Didley Squat Farm is out along here. In fact, these fields around here are probably part of Didley Squat Farm, I imagine. I'm not sure how far it stretches on for, but I think it is. It's quite a sizable back garden he has. I wonder if that's his house up there. Is that Jeremy Clarkson's house? Charlbury Clarkson's house. That, I believe, is Didley Squat Farm. It is. Nobody there. I thought this place was rammed all the time. Not today, obviously. No entry, exit only. I'm a rebel, aren't I? There we are, Didley Squat Farm shop in all its glory. That's what all the hullabaloo is about. There's the man himself. No, it's not. Is that him? No, it's not. Is that him in his Range Rover? No, it's not. Anyway, there's Didley Squat Farm shop. That's what all the hullabaloo is about. You can sleep easy now, you've seen it. Wilhelm, schnell, schnell! cheap 20-year-old bike, this thing is awesome. It really is. So of course I'm a little bit spoiled, I've got some other bikes, but I bought this for £1,150, and I'll tell you, for £1,150 I don't know how you could do any better than this, I really don't.